Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be giving you my fall book recommendations, and then I'm also going to tell you the books that are on my radar for this fall season. I love reading books in the fall. I don't know what it is, but it's something about like the fall season that is just like made for books. I love reading books in the summer, like summer themed books. That's so much fun as well, but I think like one of my top seasons for reading is definitely fall. So I'm going to give you a couple of my own recommendations, and then I'm going to add in some of the books that I have on my fall TBR. I'm really looking forward to getting to these books, and I hope that I get to all of them so I can really make a dent in my physical TBR because I have a lot of books on there. There's also some new releases that I'm super excited for that I will talk about, but yeah, I'm just going to get right into it. I think I'm going to go by genres for the recommendations so that it's a little bit more organized for me. First, I'm going to show you some of my thriller mystery book recommendations because I think that these are perfect for fall. Obviously, a little spookiness going on. So the first book that I have is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I actually have not seen this book talked about a lot on Book Talk or on BookTube, which is like really surprising to me because I remember really enjoying this book. I read this last year, and not only is it a thriller, but it also definitely gives you some dark academia vibes. On the back it says 6 friends, 1 college reunion, 1 unsolved murder. So it's like 10 years after their graduation and they return to their university for a reunion. Somebody died back when they were in school, so basically the murder was unsolved, and this involves this group of 6 friends, and they basically confront each other and try to figure out what happened that night all those years ago because they want to figure out like what happened. And while they're doing that, a lot of secrets come out, and yeah, it's just really good. It's suspenseful. I really enjoyed it. Next, I have a Book Talk staple that everyone knows about, and it is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I read this last year. I was like on a thriller kick, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed this as far as I remember. I know going into it I was like iffy because I had seen some good reviews and some not so great reviews of people like, well, it was like obvious what happened, but I don't even remember what happened. Like, I was talking to my friend about it recently, and she was like, this happened. I was like, really? That's what happened? Like, I thought it was something else. So not that that means that it's a bad book because I didn't remember, but it's really interesting. Basically, if you don't know, the plot of it is that this woman shoots her husband and then she doesn't talk again. So it follows like the psychologist like trying to get her to talk, so you follow like the psychologist and then her and all this stuff. I don't really remember exactly, but it was good. Next is a book that I have seen talked about, and I think who read this and I bought it? I think I saw Haley Pham talking about this. I don't know, I read this after my hip surgery last year, and that was when I got super into reading. That was when I started watching Sarah Carvelli and like all the booktubers. Like, I distinctly remember like being in bed recovering from my surgery because I couldn't do anything for like 2 months, and like watching Sarah Carvelli, like especially in August. I remember watching her, and I know that she read this book, which is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This is another thriller, and this one is actually a lot like spookier, I guess, than like I was anticipating. This book follows Casey, and she's a actress, and she's basically fled to her family's lake house because there's been some bad press going on, and she's in her house, and across the lake she can see this house that is made completely of glass basically, and so she's been like spying on her neighbors because she has nothing else to do really, and the wife goes missing, and she's trying to figure out what the heck happened. And you see more characters come into this, and like you question everything that's happening, and then you also get like I'm pretty sure there's like a past and present timeline type thing that goes on in here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so there's like a now, and then is the other one then? I don't even know what the other one is. Is it? No, before. So there's now and then there's before. But I really enjoyed this. I actually just got his new release, so that you'll see in the later part of this video for my fall TBR, but I highly recommend reading this book. Okay, one book that I do not have that I highly recommend specifically for fall time is His and Hers by Alice Feeney. I read this in February and I really enjoyed it, and I don't know why, but I think when I was reading it, it like gave me fall vibes for whatever reason. I also do recommend the rest of Alice Feeney's books if you have not read them. I have them behind me here. The only reason I am not showing them is because Rock, Paper, Scissors to me is more of like a winter thriller type book that you'd maybe want to read like deeper into the fall or whatever. I don't know, to me, because it's like a winter, like, I'll show you the cover if you haven't seen it, but see, like, this is the cover of it, like it's a winter vacation type thing. So that's the only reason why I'd say like read that a little bit later, but I do love Sometimes I Lie, also by Alice Feeney. And then Daisy Darker, this one is also good. I actually do really recommend this one for fall, even though I think this one is like at like a house and there's like ocean and stuff. I actually highly recommend this one as well. So I'm gonna add that in. I'm not gonna pick it up right now because I'm just talking about it. But yeah, all of Alice Feeney's books I think are spectacular. I love them. They're super good. I never guessed the ending, so that's perfect for me. Okay, I'm gonna add in a book that I'm putting in here for true crime girlies, people that are into true crime and anything of that sort. This book is called When a Killer Calls, and it is by John Douglas and Mark Olshaker. John Douglas is actually like a legendary FBI. Let me just read this, what it says from him. He's a former FBI special agent, the Bureau's criminal profiling pioneer, and all this stuff, whatever. He basically like started like the criminal profiling stuff in the FBI, and he writes books about cases that he worked. And I read this book 2 years ago, I believe, and it's a true crime book, obviously, so it's nonfiction, but it tells you the story of like them trying to search for this missing girl, and it was super good. It like keeps you whatever, and there's pictures in it too in the middle that show you like things from the case. Don't look at those prior to reading it because those will give things away. But they show you like pictures of like the girl and stuff that's missing and all this stuff. So if you have an interest in true crime, I highly recommend this. I have another book by him that I'm probably going to read in the fall. I don't know where it is, but I think it's called The Killer Across the Table. And I'm just really looking forward to more of his books because he is it's just like basically like watching a true crime YouTube video or a true crime documentary in a book. So highly recommend. Okay, and then I have a YA mystery series that basically like everybody has talked about, and that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. The first book basically follows Pip, and she's trying to figure out like what happened. This girl that was murdered, basically try to figure it out because she senses that what people are saying is the truth, that's not exactly the truth. So you follow her along with that, and then in the second and third one, it's basically the same type of thing where she's trying to figure out these cases and like what's going on and stuff, and basically being like a teenage detective. So it's super good. I love it. It's so good. So I highly recommend this series as well if you haven't read it, but I feel like by now you've probably read this series. Another YA mystery series that I just finished is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This book has been all over TikTok right now and BookTube and all of that, and rightfully so. This series was so good. Right from like the first book, I was like enthralled in it. This series is about this group of teenagers who are working for the FBI in like this little program thing because they're all natural, so they have these natural abilities to do all these things to help the FBI solve crimes. Each book takes you on a journey with them through a crime that they have to solve, and the last one is absolutely insane, and there's a novella at the end of the fourth one, and I read that as well, but it's just so good. I'm not getting them out of my shelf because they're behind some things, but I also think that the Inheritance Games series is a perfect read for the fall season. I don't know what it is about it, but to me it just seems like fall. I don't know what it is. I still have to read the third one, and I'm planning on reading that soon, so I thought I'd just add that in there. Okay, now that we've done the thrillers and mysteries, we're going to move into fantasies, dystopians that I recommend you read for this fall. The first one that I have is a dystopian series, and I'm sure you've heard about it, and it's the Shadow Me series by, I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name, but this series I read last year, and I read it into the fall. I actually finished it like this spring. I'm actually not done with it. I still have Believe Me, which is the last novella at the end of this at the end of the series, but I think that at least like the first couple ones of these books definitely like are good to start in the fall. They're short, easy reads. It's YA. The writing is really cool to read actually, and I really enjoyed it. It follows Juliet, and there's this, the government's basically called like the Reestablishment now, and she has these powers where she touches someone, she kills them. And it's basically the entire, well, not the entire series, but this book is basically about her like breaking out of prison because she's in prison and all this stuff. I don't really know how to explain it without giving anything away, but it's good. I enjoyed it, so highly recommend it. Next I have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, along with this Crooked Kingdom. I just didn't want to take both of them off of the shelf. This is a duology, and it is so good. It basically comes after Shadow and Bone. I didn't read Shadow and Bone. I honestly truly do not think that you need to read Shadow and Bone in order to read this. The first 50, maybe more pages of this book, I was like, it hurt a little bit to get into because I was like, what is going on? I had no idea what was going on. But once I got past that, I really enjoyed it. And then obviously once I got into the second one, I was like super into the world and like knew what was going on, so it made a lot more sense to me. This duology has amazing found family, which if you love that, definitely read this. This one follows a group of 6 people and they have to go like perform this heist thing that's basically impossible. So this book follows along their journey trying to complete that. So highly recommend Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Okay, moving on. A book that, or books that everyone has been talking about recently. I have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Once Upon a Broken Heart is so good. This comes after the Carvelli trilogy, which I'm planning to read this fall. Moral of this story is that Evangeline's love of her life is going to be marrying someone else, and she's so desperate to make that not happen, so she strikes a deal with the Prince of Hearts, Jax. It just goes on from there. I liked this one a lot, but like the second one, Ballad of Never After, yeah, that one's crazy. The third one comes out in October and I cannot wait for that one. Like, I need it because the second one leaves off on a cliffhanger, so I'm very excited. So you should definitely pick these up before that one comes out. I don't really know if you absolutely have to read Carvelli before this, because I didn't, but I'm going to read them now so I can get like the backstory into like this world, but you should still read them. Okay, next I have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, which everyone's been talking about recently. When I was reading this, I was kind of in a slump, so it didn't hit to me the way that it's been hitting for other people, which is really upsetting, and I might actually reread this. I don't know if it'd be now, but like at some point I might want to reread this. This book follows Iris and Roman, and Iris has a typewriter, and her brother's off at war fighting for war because there's a war going on between the gods. I don't really know. And she thinks she's writing letters to her brother, but she's not. They're going to someone else. So you go along on that journey, and it's quite good. It is good. From what I remember, it was good. And it also ended off on a cliffhanger. And the second one comes out in December. I think it comes out like December 26th. I could be so wrong, but definitely a good one. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Yeah, but we have ACOTAR. I haven't even finished ACOTAR yet, the series. I still have A Quarter Frost and Starlight and A Quarter Silver Flames, but I'm planning on reading those soon, very soon. So how about we read ACOTAR together? That would be so much fun. I'm not gonna dive into what this is about because I feel like you know. It's basically fairies. Not like fairies, like fae. And it's just so good. Read it. Okay, read it. Read it. Thank you. Okay, and then I'm gonna recommend this even though everyone has probably already read it, but Fourth Wing. I mean, it was so good. It was so good. I cannot wait. I pre-ordered Iron Flame. Looking forward to that. Okay, now we're gonna get into our last genre, which is going to be romances. And these books are not like designated fall reads, but to me, they give fall vibes. I read them in the fall, or I didn't. I wished I did, and they were fall vibes, so I don't really know if I can explain why they give me fall vibes. They just do. First one I have is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This book, I feel like a lot of people know about. This is the new version. I have the old one, but I just pulled this one out because this one's like super cute and fun. I read this probably 2 years ago or a year ago. I kind of forget when I read this, if I'm being so honest. It may have been last year. I don't know, but I really, really loved this book. It follows Macy and Elliot. Her family has this like house on like a lake type thing, and basically they go to visit it. Elliot lives right next door and he's there all year round, so you see when she goes to visit him and stuff. And yeah, I'm not really gonna give too much, but it does have friends to lovers. As you can tell, again, I'm still not good at giving descriptions of books, but it's especially hard when I read this book like a while ago and it's just like hard for me to remember. I have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I read this I think in February or March. I loved this book a lot. Okay, like when I was reading it, I don't think I was loving it that much, but it was like after when I was like, oh my god, I loved that book. It is so fall to me. Like, this is fall. This is fall. It's about Liz and Wes, and they've been friends for years. I'm pretty sure their parents are best friends, but I could be so insanely wrong. But she wants to go to prom with this kid in her class, and he's helping her, and yeah, then there's friends to lovers. So I love this book. It's so cute and fall, and there's like school in it, so it gives you like that fall vibe because of school. So yeah. Next I have Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I didn't love this book the way that everyone else loved it. I don't know why. I think I may have been in a slump. I think I read this in December, like last December, whatever. But it was good. It was like, there's a small town, which gives you fall vibes, and it was a beautiful story. Like, it really, truly was. I think I kind of want to try to reread this just because I hate, can we have a real chat right now about hyped up books? I hate when books are hyped up and you go into it knowing that, like, so many people love it, because then you feel pressured to love it the way that everyone else does, and then if you don't, you're like, why didn't I love it? Well, it's because we all have different tastes. It's because we don't all love the same thing. It's because we all have different opinions. But sometimes it's hard to remember that, especially when there's so many public, like, reviews and stuff of books. That's why sometimes I really enjoy going into a book completely blind, like, not looking at Goodreads, not knowing the synopsis of it at all, because you can really go into it blind and get a blind reaction to it. So, anyway, rant over. Continuing. Again, I did like this. I definitely did enjoy it. I think I liked it more than, like, what I'm remembering, but because I didn't like it as much as everyone loved it, I was like, oh, that's weird. And I hate that. I hate that, like, we're doing that to ourselves now. So let's not do that, okay? Alrighty. Next, I have The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. Now, this book is in no way, shape, or form a fall book, I don't think. This is Hannah. This is Jack. She's his security guard. He's a famous singer, I think, and basically they have to fake date because they have to go stay at his mom's house or his parents' house, whatever, and his mom's very sick, so they don't want her to know that he has, like, a bodyguard, or, like, he needs that, because I'm pretty sure he has a stalker, and that's why he needs the bodyguard. But they don't want her to know, so they have to fake date. So I really, really enjoyed this book. I'm really looking forward to reading her new release, but because I loved this one, I don't know if that one will live up to the hype. Okay, next I have Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Now, this book I read in March. I read this during a time of my life that was not too great. My Nana was actually, like, in the hospital, and she ended up passing away. So when I was reading this book, it was hard for me to focus on it because, again, I was reading this the week that she was in the hospital. She had a stroke, whatever, and she was in the hospital, and then she ended up passing away. But I was reading this book while she was in the hospital, so in a way, this book was an escape for me, but also in a way, I couldn't focus on what I was reading. Regardless, I loved this book. I really want to reread it before I read the rest of the series, which I'm planning on doing relatively soon. I have the 4th book, okay? I'm just going to show you this because I think I'm an idiot and just, like, screwed myself over. So I got this on Blackwell's because I wanted this cover. It's bigger than all the rest, okay, as you can see. I was on Pango Books, and I've, like, been looking at it, whatever, and there was a $60 one of Daisy Hates the Green Undoing. And I'm like, how can I figure out if this is the same measurements as this? I couldn't, but I was like, yeah, I think I screwed up. But I was like, but looking at the width of it, I was like, I think it might be the size of these ones. So I ordered that on Pango Books, but I'm just, like, hoping that I didn't waste, like, $60 on a book that is exactly that one. But anyway, Magnolia Parks. I loved this book. It's like a whirlwind of emotions because you want to root for the characters, but you also don't. This is not a romance in any way. Well, maybe it is, but, like, it's just toxic. It's a London Gossip Girl, basically. It's just so good. It was really good when I was reading it. And I kind of want the new covers, but I don't want to pay for them just because the spines are pretty. Okay, the last book I have to recommend for this video is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I literally just finished this morning, and I loved this book. It was so good. I have never read an Abby Jimenez book before, and I was so excited to finally be reading one because I've heard amazing things about her writing and just about her books in general. This gives me fall vibes because it takes place in a small town, and I don't know, it just does. This book, like, really was giving me the fall vibes, and I was loving it. I was, like, eating it up. I was like, So this follows Alexis right here, who is a doctor, and she's part of this legacy of doctors at this one hospital, and her parents are super on her about, like, keeping this legacy going and all this stuff. And then on her way home from a funeral, she gets stuck in this town and meets Daniel, who is the complete opposite of her. He's also 10 years younger than her, which is fun. It goes from there. I was feeling emotions with this book. I was getting angry. I was, like, pissed at some things that her father would say to her. I was like, what a piece of fucking shit. And it was great. I loved the ending. It was just so good. And I'm so excited to read Yours Truly, which is, Yours Truly follows her best friend Bree, in her love story, and I'm so excited because in this book she's going through a divorce. So it's so exciting. It's so exciting. Okay, that's all I have for my book racks. Now we're gonna get into some of the books on my fall TBR. I'm gonna try to go through them rapid fire because this video is already super long already, and I don't want to take too much of your time. So I'm gonna put those back. I'm gonna get out my fall TBR, and then we're gonna just get right into that. So much. There's no way in hell. Plus I have the new releases. I'm gonna go over some new releases that I wrote down first so that I just get those out of the way. I don't know if I'm going to put up pictures for them because this needs to all be so insanely rapid fire because there's like a lot of books right here. Okay, new releases. Wildfire by Hannah Grace, A Curse for True Love, Stephanie Garber, Hopeless, Elsie Silver, Iron Flame, Rebecca Yarros, and any other ones that you can think of. Okay? Okay. I'm just going to get started, I guess. There's a handful of these that have been on my TBR for a while. Again, I'm going to try not to elaborate on them. I'm just going to literally go so insanely rapid fire. You probably can't keep up. 1,000 Kisses in Your Lifetime. Been on my TBR for a while. It is a school romance, so that's fun. The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. The Serpents and the Wings of Night series. Renegades, Marissa Meyer. Hello Stranger, Catherine Center. The Only One Left, Riley Sager. A Flicker in the Dark, Stacey Willingham. Local Woman Missing, Mary Kubica. Then She Was Gone, Lisa Jewell. I Know Who You Are, Alice Feeney. Oh, also new release, Alice Feeney, Good Bad Girl. Is that what it's called? That one as well. Yours Truly, Abby Jimenez. Heartless, Marissa Meyer. The Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. Heart of the Raven Prince by Tisana Odette, and maybe some more of this series. The rest of the Magnolia Parks series, that's out right now. The rest of the ACOTAR series, that's out right now. Reckless by Elsie Silver. Love Theoretically, Allie Hazelwood. One for My Enemy, Olivia Blake. Things We Hide from the Light, Lucy Score. Also, Things We Left Behind, also by Lucy Score. The 7-Year Slip, Ashley Poston. Hooked, Emily McIntyre. I feel like this would be a fun fall, like this series would be good for like Halloween time. Mile High, Liz Tomford. Say You Swear, Megan Brandy. The Final Gambit, Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I need to finish this series, plus also get The Brothers Hawthorne, which is part of the series as well. The X-Hex, Erin Sterling, and possibly The Kiss Curse, if I get that. Believe Me, the last novella in the Shadow Me series. I need to finish the series now. Billy Summers, Stephen King. Possibly the entire Throne of Glass series. Maybe. I don't know. Alrighty, and I guess the last two we have here are Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. But, however, please hold because I just found two more that I forgot to add in. I have Final Offer by Lauren Asher. I just really want to finish this series so that it can all be on my shelf, and because I want to start the Dirty Air series. Plus I'm pretty sure her new series is starting to release soon. So, and then I have The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I've had this on my shelf for a pretty long time at this point. If I don't read it this fall season, I'm probably just going to get rid of it, but it is a short little read, so might be worth it. That was a lot of books. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to read every single one of them because a lot of these are actually pretty thick books. So yeah, these are the books that I really want to read this fall. Since I love reading in the fall, I thought it'd be perfect to like finish off series that I'm in the middle of, or just get to books that I haven't gotten to yet that I've been wanting to get to. So I guess that's all of them. So isn't that spectacular? Okay, those are all of my fall book recommendations, and then all of the books, the many books that I have on my personal fall TBR. I hope to get to most of these, if not all of them, which all of them I don't think will be the case. We'll see, I guess, right? We'll see. There's like a lot. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you take some of these recommendations if you haven't read them and you read them for fall. Let me know what you have on your fall TBR, and if any of these books are on your fall TBR, or if you've already read them, what you thought of them, and help me pick the ones I should read first and all that. So, again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.